everybody. Welcome to Fibro-Fri-Yay, where we're going to talk a little bit about OMAD today, which is basically what you've been hearing about intermittent fasting is going around. It has been going around for quite some time. It's also how I did lose some of my weight and what I kind of need to get back to. But not to an extreme to where, I'm stressing myself out. But I want to say welcome in. I believe it was Duncan 1900 Homestead who was in first. Thank you, Brenda. Appreciate you so much. Hedgehogs Homestead. Hey, Laura. Good to see you, girl. Hey, Cool Gamer. Thanks for coming in. Oh, it's Cool Gamer 2. Okay. And then any of the lurkers in the background, appreciate you too while you're getting things done for your day. I have sad news to start with is I weighed myself last night, but it was at the very end of the day, and what can happen too is that we can have bloating and we can have hey Aid, welcome in, Aid near. We can have thank you, Laura. We can have inflammation on the end of our day and maybe be reacting to something that we've eaten. Hey, CR, welcome in, Creative Redundancy. Just like how you don't go and buy shoes at the very, very end of your day. You kind of want to try them on then, but you're going to end up during the day. Actually, no, it's the opposite. You go and you try on your shoes at the end of the day when you're buying new shoes, because that's when your feet will be the most swollen and you'll know how they're going to kind of fit you, rather than the beginning of the day before your feet have gotten inflamed. Hey, Storms, Rios, and Cats, welcome in. So I gained like a pound, I think, a solid pound. But I think it's with how you feel in your clothes. And so far, I'm okay. I'd like to, of course, lose a little bit more, but also firm up is my goal. And that's why I'm going back to trying the OMAD, which is like 16 hours of not eating. Then you have an 8-hour window where you can eat. It's just now that got messed up because Hannah had started her job, and that's me up at 7 o'clock in the morning and taking her to work and then going back to pick her up by 5. It's kind of screwed with my schedule a bit. Hey, Bayou Sugar, what's up? Welcome in, Bayou Sugar Garden. So it's kind of messed up my 16-hour window right now until my body adjusts to this new schedule. And then tonight, I'm not sure if I'm going to be home in time for our regular Fri-Yay because I have a friend who came in from out of town. Haven't seen her. And I was thinking it was high school. I've known her. No, we've known each other since middle school, actually. So it'll be a good thing to see her. And we're going out to one of our places from when, we were teenagers. It's been there. It's just like a little hole in the wall near the beach kind of place that's still standing and supposedly still is doing really well business wise. They do a lot of fresh seafood and things like that. Hey, Shawnee Shave, welcome in. Oh, thank you, CR. Yeah, I hope to have fun. I hope we'll have a good time. I'm driving, but that's the other thing. I'm not drinking anyway because of not having sugar. Like she said, she would take me there and it would be her treat. And she has no idea that, I've given up sugar and dairy and all this stuff. So I don't even know what I'm going to eat there. I should actually look at the menu prior to going. But the challenge that I am hoping to start for this, kick it off. Maybe we'll kick it off in May. I'm not sure, but we could kick it off now too. The idea is, one less and one more challenge. It's called the one less, one more challenge. And what you're going to do is you're going to have one less thing that is a bad habit or a bad food group or food in general. Or it could be a drink, one less and then one more where you're adding in one thing that is a good habit or a good food for your body. And you're just doing shorts about it. Like this week I did it, say it was one less is I'm not having sugar in my coffee, and the one more that I'm adding in is I've started to walk. And so you would talk about that week, how that went for, the progress, and we'd probably do it maybe, I would say, until we could do it till summer begins. Right now it's kind of open, so I wanted to kind of bounce that off of you guys, see what you thought. Maybe I can do an Amazon gift card. I'm not really sure. It's more or less just to encourage each other so we can start getting a lot of these commercialized foods out of our diet. That's another thing. Like we talked a little bit about the oils. Good, CR. Yeah, I have a hard time taking them with little man. Like he'll take me on a walk. David Corey, you came to visit me during the day. Thank you. David Corey with Crop is here. So like I said, the idea is taking one away and adding one in, one less, one more challenge. And you can decide what that is. It's an idea of forming better habits for our health. Because I'm not just doing diets on here, that I am showing you different ways that I'm trying to lose weight. And I found out too why keto and why carnivore was not a good fit for me, because I possibly do have gouty arthritis, gout at my age. My father had it, but his didn't show up until he was much older. And my mother had fibromyalgia, but I do also wonder if she had really rheumatoid arthritis from seeing her joints and stuff as she aged and kind of, how they looked. So with that said, the OMAD, what I am desiring to do is to be non-eating for 16 hours. So one of the first things we need to do when we do something like that is, and I'm terrible at it, be more in charge of our sleep hours and have good sleep hygiene, because right there, that's your easy hours. If you can get 8 hours of sleep in, there's 8 of your 16 that you're technically fasting, unless you're, multi-talented and you walk in your sleep and get to, eat out of, okay, sounds good. Thanks, David Corey. Eat out of your fridge while you're sleeping and sleep right, go slip right back into bed. But that'll give you like those many hours. You can subtract it off of the 16. Now, this isn't for everybody. And that's one thing I want to say. If you're diabetic, do not do this to yourself. You're more or less, you have to keep your blood sugar steady. If you're breastfeeding or pregnant, do not do this. I am not a doctor. I am not a health professional. There's other metabolic syndromes too that might not work well with this. I tend to get hangry, so I'm curious if I can get back up to 16 hours or not. And especially since I started the, pardon the I'm thinking the bioidentical hormones have seemed to made me more hungry at night. I'm sure that's the estrogen. And then I get hangry during the day, which is the natural progesterone, I think, playing around with, my metabolism. But once that all stabilizes, then I'll know better. Exactly. You won't lose weight if you don't get proper sleep. Exactly. That's a key to losing weight, because when we lack sleep, we want to eat more. It triggers that. And it also shuts down, I think, the ghrelin. I forget how you say it, but it is the hormone that says, hey, you ate enough. It messes with that hormone. So anyway, that was what I wanted to just, chit chat about, see if any of you had done anything, any type of fasting, if you practiced it even maybe 3 days a week, because you don't do it every day. Like some days might be easier to do the fasting. Like some people work, so they don't think about it as much while they're working. Right? I know. Put that phone down and go to sleep. FOMO. I know. You sleep but want to eat. But CR, you have like, I think, a pretty Revan high metabolism. You're not like, from what I've seen of you, I don't see you and the word obese meeting together and overlapping. I just don't see that happening. You seem like you have a pretty high metabolism. I, on the other hand, my metabolism changed as soon as I hit a certain age, like a lot of women, and it made it very much a difficult task to get it going again. And some of that is too, like what Brenda said, it's the lack of sleep. Oh no, we have 3 sick kids. I'm sorry. Yeah, he might just inhale it while he's sleeping. I hope they feel better, Q. I hope you do too. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so Laura, what made you stop then with the fasting? I mean, you can actually come up. Let me just make sure I've got this switched over. I had it for only a few minutes in case any new people came in, but now I'm going to set it to longer so we can all relax a little bit. Uh, just the subscribers only mode. Oh, duh. Let me do it with hours instead of minutes, and then we'll be good to go. Do make sure you're subscribed because I'm about to kick those out who are not. Here we go. Now I can drop the link, Laura, if you're available. I feel special. Okay, Storms. Right now I'm having, instead of coffee, I'm actually having chai tea, which somebody told me chai and tea actually mean the same. Chai is the word for tea. But this is like spicy tea. That's what I told them. Chai to us is like spicy tea. It usually has warm spices in it, and that helps. It's supposed to help your metabolism too. It's those warm spices like cinnamon and clove and nutmegs and all those. Yeah, let me see if I can do that. I know, isn't that funny? I need to look that up. I'm always so impressed with my friends. Like, they fill in those blanks of things that I just don't know and educate me. Yeah, not eating enough can, yep, for some people it definitely can. Not eating enough can slow the metabolism because your body thinks you're starving. And that's another thing too, is you don't want to set off uh, the hormones that are basically the cortisol. You don't want to set that off and stress your system out. Like if your system thinks it's starving, cortisol kick in, and then you're not getting rid of that belly fat. Excuse me, the flap too. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh, yeah, it's supposed to help blood sugar, but if you have blood sugar issues, it's really hard to do it. Welcome to the stage, Miss Laura.
I'm back in
Hedgehogs
the
sit.
world again.
Yeah, how's your back doing?
Really good. I just released a video saying that I am all better. It's like
Oh, good.
Thursday. I was moving around and I'm like, I just started doing stuff and I'm like, my back isn't hurting anymore.
Oh, good.
Must be all those prayers.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Oh.
I don't know how long I'll be able to stay. Chris just got home, so I said
Oh,
no.
I know, and I have my friend coming tonight too. I was the same way, and also, I've got little man, but Theron at least is picking up Hannah. So, oh, CR is happy that you're feeling better, right, CR? I know that's the
Thank you
worst.
so much, Sierra.
That is the worst. If anybody's had that before, they know. Puppy dogs are greeting their daddy. But yeah, very important, like you said, Duncan. You've got to eat at least enough. And I was listening to a doctor who he said when he does it, he will switch off and on. Like sometimes he'll need carbs for that 8 hours that he's allowed to eat, and the next day he's doing it, he might need more protein. So it gives you too a little bit more flexibility as far as what you can eat because you're fasting all those other hours.
I have to have protein when I do it. I don't know why I stopped doing it. I need to get back to doing it.
Yeah.
I just I got I think my allergies kicking in and then I was like all of a sudden not sleeping for the longest time. And I think those two things kind of,
Well, when you're all congested or if your back is out, you're not sleeping. It's really hard to get a good night's sleep when you're just your head is congested for sure.
Yeah. And then I wake up and I'm miserable. So, yeah. So, but I do want to get back to it. I was losing weight when I was doing it. It really seemed to, when I did it a few times, It really helped with my blood pressure issues.
Yes, that's what one of the benefits is, a lower blood pressure. It lowers
Yeah,
the blood pressure.
that and introducing more fiber really helped my blood
Mm-hmm.
pressure too.
Yep. I
So,
know our friend Shawnee Shave, she's, doing stuff in the background. She's a big proponent for fiber and
hmm
putting fiber into her diet. And
yeah,
so am I. And you get that with your fruits and vegetables. And that's for me is not being a fruitarian is the hard part because
right,
that's I stopped the OMAD and started eating fruit because I wasn't having sugar, but I think I kind of might have overdid it with the fruit
right,
and put a kibosh on it. But also too, just flipping my schedule. My body is right now trying to find its new normal, its new
right,
equilibrium. So
right.
I need to give it a little bit of time to do that. But I'm still not no sugar, still no dairy. And
For you.
yeah, I mentioned what did I say? We were going to talk about fasting and Miss T with the tea read frosting. And I was like, oh, frosting. Why do you have to say that word? Because I'm going out tonight. And of course, they're going to have desserts at this place. And it's like, oh, I love
Yeah,
cake. I love cake. But I have to have
I,
gluten-free cake, so it makes it easy to say
yeah.
no because I don't want to be sore and hurting. I did notice I'm less sore on the hormones.
Good.
So a lot of that was the lack of estrogen in my system and
Huh.
progesterone that was making me really, really sore all the time. Send your fruit to me. Yeah, you can eat it. That's right, Barry.
Yeah.
I know. I'm going to be having to cut up mangoes this year and freeze them and just save them, I guess, and
Put them on.
do
Put them on ice and
moderation.
send them up.
You okay?
Barry, I sent you your sourdough. Finally.
A little
So,
messy. She's right here next to me. She was just
oh,
ganking. She's got
cute.
she's got a heart failure. Is it's actually they didn't classify it to that yet, but she takes that medication and she's got the little
Mm-hmm.
cough. So if you hear
Mm.
any her gagging out of the blue, that's what that is.
Makes her
She has a little
cough.
yeah, she has that
Yeah.
little cough from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you should eat lunch, CR. I ate breakfast as soon as I came home because I was so mad at um went to Walmart and I went to go pick up something. And of course, you never get green lights, it seems like, when you're, taking somebody to work, when you're being the taxi. But
Yeah.
on the way back, when I needed to check to see if my order was done and I could pick it up, I got every green light possible. So I couldn't take out my phone and look at it. And so I drive in. And as I'm driving in, this lady did not check her mirror. She just did one of these, like out, and
Wow.
I did the full lock. My brakes locked up because I hit the brakes so fast,
Right.
and I'm sure you could tell with my mouth what I was saying to her wasn't very nice
Yeah.
in her mirror. Well, she was backing out because she was going down to the end where I was. She ends up parking next to me, and I'm like, "You need to check your mirrors." I'm like, "It's a law that you backing out and hitting me, that would have been on you."
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, well, you should drive safer. You have your kid in the car." I'm like, I said, "I have my kid in the car and you should learn how to pay attention to your mirrors."
Yeah.
Crazy woman. And she just put it like she smirked. She did the smirk and put up the window. And there's guys looking through her car window at me and her, like trying to figure out what's going on. And I just looked at them and I went, and they're like laughed and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
because they must have seen it. But anyway, it made me very hungry because my stress level went up.
Bubba thinks
Thank
his
you,
job is
Duncan.
to shred paper.
Oh no.
He's trying to recycle for me.
Oh yeah, that's all.
You
He's
know.
getting it ready for the garden.
Yeah. He's so, dude.
Yeah, I see a zoo.
You're just my recycler, huh? Come here. Come here. Ah, 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 ah. Come here.
Let me see. What Storm said he read your last comment that you sent him storms, so he was confused.
I went off. Chris was like, "Come here a minute." You know, I'm like, "Ah, yeah." That's what that I sent you that the sourdough starter is what I was
nice. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I understand the multitasking thing is real.
Yeah. That, and I was working on.
Stop, Malachi.
I'm going to add new garden beds.
More garden beds? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How many do you have now? We already were like commenting, like,
1,
look at
2,
Laura
3,
go.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Now, are they for specific things? Is that why? Are you trying to kind of separate out your different crops?
No. I was I just need more space, for all the things.
Yeah.
Like I got, the spring stuff in, but that's not going to be done until the middle of summer, and I need to put summer stuff in, and so that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I need to grow bigger. So, and I was going to go in ground. I started doing in ground, but that's outside the fence, and that's not going to work for me. I'm on the live with Carol.
Hey, Chris.
I'm on the live with Carol. She says, "Hey, Chris."
If you have to go, I totally understand. That's how it gets over here too when Theron comes home.
With Carol.
With me.
Chris.
Hey, Chris. Heidi ho. How are you?
Working
there
like
he is.
usual, like a rented mule. You?
Oh, a cat, some kind of cat from outer space, I guess.
Yeah. A cat in a hat.
Cat in the hat. I'm not very good at that. I'm not good at rhyming.
Yeah, I need to go take a shower. Stink.
Oh, fun stuff. All right. Good to see you, Chris.
Yeah. You out of the way, boy.
Yeah, I need more raised beds too, Duncan, but then I'd have to put things in them. I've got to actually move. I have to stack the ones I have. I just don't want to kill what's in them.
I want to do that too. I think that I'll do that over time.
Just get them up higher. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to have all elevated beds and have them at least up to my belly button as I age. Because, it just seems like a easier height to work at as we get older.
In Oregon, I had Chris made raised beds for me, and they were up to here.
Oh, because he made them.
They were up to the breast line. Well,
just pack
your garden beds, honey.
That would make for great videos, though.
Yeah.
Like you're up there like that with your arms up on it. I wouldn't mind that too much. I
literally had to get a stool.
Oh, funny. Oh, my goodness. I would that might be a little too high, but yeah, I wouldn't mind them pretty high up so I can not have to bend too much over. And because right now they're both of them are about, I would say, 11 inches the sides, and I went to dig and get one of them ready when I was putting in the mustard, and I kind of got stuck against the house and the bed because it's a real narrow spot, and I'm like, okay, first off, I need a better area here. Like, this needs to be wider, and second of all, this needs to be higher so I'm not squatting down this low because I feel stuck now, and I'm, what am I going to be doing? Yelling for Theron and waiting for him to come back from the walk with Malachi. Help, I've fallen in my garden and I can't get up. Like, it's too soon for that. Yeah, tippy toe gardening. Yep, pretty much when it's Laura and I. Because are we both 5'2"? Are you 5'2" also, or 5'3"?
I'm 5'4" something.
Oh, you're 5'4". Okay, so you're taller than me. Yeah. So then I would have been like. I like that idea.
They were a really strong, awesome garden bed, but
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he can help build you some more, but just a little bit lower. That's all. Maybe you could,
One of the things too is that I need spots for perennials. Like I took up a whole garden bed putting my asparagus in.
Yeah.
I just started more asparagus from seed, and so love my asparagus. So I got to get that out there. I need a new garden bed for it.
Yeah, we love asparagus too. I don't know how or if I can even do it, but I'm not sure where I could put it because of having such a small yard. I love my 3.5 foot tall raised beds till I have to empty them. Yeah, and refill them because of, oh no, the cats. That's terrible, Duncan. And I guess the upside down forks don't work, huh, to keep them out. Yeah, right. The geriatric gardening girls. That's actually a great idea for a channel, Storms. You could do the geriatric gardening guys channel, and probably you would get like a lot of attention just for that name. For sure. And come up with tips to help people like that. That's a great idea. I don't know. I might have to steal that idea, Storm, since you put it in my side chat. Sounds like a moneymaker. I still haven't gotten out front to trim the bushes out front, but that was how I read something about the particular hedge trimmer that they sent me, and it was kind of like that's what it was about. It was for older women and ladies and older women. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, you're 4'11", Duncan. Cool. I love it. Grow for it. That's awesome. I like that too. But yeah, so I don't know what you guys think of the idea. As far as I thought, by starting with the one less, one more challenge, it wouldn't be so hard because we're not redoing everything, And sorry, I was just looking at. Oh no, I was just looking at a message. 1 second. Oh. But yeah, I just thought it would be a little bit easier to attempt changes, like with small steps, like we've talked about before. So, any ideas as far as what your one less would be? Mine's probably going to be one less meal because I think I've been maybe eating a bit too much late into the night. And I wasn't doing that, and that's how I was losing my weight. I think I had stopped eating by 9, and because I was staying up till like 3, I was getting quite a few hours in that way before even sleeping. But now the staying up to 3 is rocking my world. Getting up at 7 to take Hannah is just, no, not going to work at all. But one of the things, like Laura was saying, that it does improve if you do like the OMAD, if you're going to add that in, is it helps with insulin resistance. It helps with your blood pressure. It helps with the obesity that is around the middle section, the trunk. It also can help asthmatics because it brings down inflammation. So one less, maybe one more meal, and one less procrastination. That's an interesting one. I guess that would fit. You could probably make that into a short CR. Not procrastinating on actually feeding yourself good food. Yeah, they did a survey and they freaked everybody out about OMAD, and it came to find out that it was indeed just a survey. Like they made it sound like it was this huge medical study, but it was surveys that they sent out. It was like 50% women, 50% men. They didn't take into any factors that they were smoking, if they were already obese, their lifestyle. And they did like, it was in a placebo-controlled trial, and they did 2 24-hour dietary recalls for this study that came out because it was from the American Heart Association, and they put out that the 16-hour fast with 8-hour window to eat were causing 91% higher cardiovascular death. And so it was a doctor that I watched who went through the study and explained the study was crap. It was a crap study. It wasn't a real controlled, group study. It wasn't tracking these people. It wasn't them writing down what they had eaten for that day. It was them looking back at what they ate. And it didn't even have
a big difference.
Yeah. Because, I don't remember what I ate 2 days ago.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, that's what they did. That was the study. It was, that's ridiculous.
I noticed that when I did it, I was in less pain. I slept better.
Yeah.
When I did intermittent fasting, and then when I would do I was doing once a month where I was fasting the whole weekend, and I noticed a huge difference, in just everything.
Yeah. I would love to get to, I can't do a full 24-hour fast. I'm not there yet with my blood sugar. Can't handle it. Duncan, then maybe your window would be closer to your bedtime and you would not eat until later and see how that works out for you. But also maybe just talking to that little girl inside and letting her know that you're okay now and that you don't have to worry anymore, that you have food security and not scarcity. But yeah, that does, we see that in foster care. Laura and I have seen that in foster care. You'll get kids that have had food scarcity and they just want to eat all the time. They
want to hoard their food.
And hoard food too, yeah.
They hide food under their beds and stuff like that. You see that also with people that have been through the depression, they have to have that cupboard full of
hey Nancy, welcome in. Yeah.
Huge pantries and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. My parents loved it
now.
My dad, as he got older, loved Costco more and more, and he went through the depression. He loved Costco and having everything on hand and having extra.
Yeah.
And I with survivalists and preparedness, I also like that because you just don't know. Oh, hey, welcome in.
Hello, Andy's
Journeys. Oh, I forgot to do the sharing out thing. That's okay. We'll do that. I forgot. Oh, it's probably up there actually.
Tennessee. Hey, another Tennessean.
Yeah, Chattanooga.
I'm from Tennessee.
Yep, our Lord is from. That's where she is from for sure.
Yeah.
Haven't seen you come in before. Thank you and welcome in. We were just discussing OMAD, and that's just the 16 hours, not eating, 8 hours, window eating. I can go all day without eating, just not. Yeah, I used to have a little something at bedtime. I don't think it's a total game changer. Sometimes people just need a little something.
Right.
Hey, Bob. Welcome in, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Y'all are having the winds. We had them yesterday. I had beautiful mulberries in my everberry mulberry tree, and I went out to pick them, and half of the gorgeous fat ones are on the ground. I was kind of upset.
I was out working in the garden finally. And, after rain, and finally got to work out in the garden. It was really windy. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to film a video here. But of course not.
Yeah, Andy, that's what I'm doing it for, too. I'm going back to it. And Laura's done it before, too. And we just got out of the cycle, basically, because it is like
I need to get back to it. Yep.
Yeah. Poor Bob only gets bread and water. I'm sorry, Bob. Oh, yeah. What about those hot dogs? You said you could do hot dogs in the microwave, Bob. Not that I recommend them. They're not the best thing for you, but Andy, to get back to this, yes, I'm doing it to lose weight too. I posted my weight last time. I had gotten from 152 down to 141. But I went back to 142. Hold on. I take pictures of my weight. I hold myself accountable. So people can feel comfortable too with what they're dealing with. 142.4. So just a little bit over a pound.
I need to start weighing myself. I stopped weighing myself, and that's always been a kind of a sticky wicket with me because if I weigh myself too much, I get, because of my OCD.
Yeah.
I have danger of, and I have suffered from being too skinny before. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a control. It becomes a
It becomes a
control thing.
control. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I have to watch that,
Yeah. I totally
especially if I'm
understand
under
that.
stress. So,
Yep. I've done that to myself before too. That's why too I said it's about clothes and how you feel in certain
mm-hmm.
clothes too. Because also that sounds actually good, Andy. I actually like shrimp boiled in beer and Old Bay, and yeah. He was just saying if you're going to do it right, basically boil
Yeah.
the hot dogs in beer. When I'm thinking
Shani.
about one meal a day during a certain window, you really got to make it count. Yeah, and somebody else talked about two, not doing one, but two in that time and splitting it like in half. But as long as you're within that 8 hour window, be whole, healthy, all important food. Exactly. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
keeping out the bad. That was the other thing too. I follow a dermatologist, Shawnee, and he was talking about how it shows up in skin of his clients, but all the PUFAs is what that's short for, but the uh, omega-6 vegetable oils that are in all these commercialized foods and getting away from the commercialized foods because it's aging their skin. He said, what do you think it's doing to your insides?
Mm.
Like if it's showing up in your skin organ, what is it doing to your
Yeah.
internal organs? And
Yeah.
then a lot of these seed oils and processed oils, they also put hexane in, and it's a really bad ingredient. It can cause like allergic reactions and inflammation in the skin and congestion in the skin. What's that doing to your internal organs?
Yeah.
So yeah, getting away from
That's
those
why we're
kind of,
saving our lard when we have pigs.
yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. I see. I have to even go easy with that. I'm now on like chicken, and I can have bacon once in a while, but it's not. It's naturally smoked. It's can't have
Mm-hmm.
extra stuff. Exactly. Your skin is your biggest organ.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, his seed oils though are really what he recommended was Evo, which is extra virgin olive oil, ghee, and avocado oil. Uh, Even organic can go bad when it comes to the vegetable oils because they're highly processed. And the problem too with anything that's on that we're seeing that's in a box that they're using those oils, how long has it been sitting? How do we not know that it's gone rancid or not in that food? And they've done studies too where it affects the liver of mice and rats that it becomes toxic to their system. But yeah, organic is always best. But they basically are saying how many seeds you are eating for that particular, like 2 tablespoons of oil you might be consuming in, say, salad dressing, which is a huge culprit, baked goods. You're better off eating the whole food. You're better off going and eating those sunflower seeds or, whatever the oil is. It's better to eat the whole food instead.
Sunflower is supposed to be really good for your tummy fat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to put on salads and things.
Yeah, I like to put sunflowers instead of course, I don't do croutons. I do sunflower seeds,
Mm-hmm.
like dry roasted, organic. It's so
Me
yummy.
too. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's really clarified butter.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's like the chefs used to make clarified butter in the seafood restaurants.
I've made ghee before too. It's really yummy, and I used to buy it, but
Yeah, I want to make it next time.
yeah.
I didn't like the one I bought, even though it was like from Whole Foods.
Yeah.
It actually tasted like it wasn't good. Like it
Right.
didn't keep well.
Right.
Yeah, that's true too. You won't lose weight if you have, yeah. And that's what I found out my hubby had, that he's got stuff on his liver going on, but of course he's going to keep eating junk. So
We'll see if you can slip him some turmeric.
yeah, right. I'd like to.
It helps with fatty liver. So
Yeah, I'll try and see what.
Vera?
Probably not turmeric. Hey, Verna, good to see you. It's Verna Cardone. So pretty.
Yeah, it is.
I agree. That's what I had. It was sour, Andy. It had like a really sour taste to it. There she is. Hey, Miss T with T.
Amy.
We are not talking about frosting, so I don't want to disappoint you. We're just going into the 16-hour, 8-hour eating window.
Yep.
You got the 16-hour fast, 8-hour eating window, the OMAD. Because it was funny when you had that lady or that channel come in, they're talking about OMID, and I'm like, it's not OMID, that's OMAD. And that's how I explained it in her side chat. Oh, I'm mad. I'm only eating one meal a day.
Yep.
That's how I remember it. But I did like by doing that, and I wasn't even counting my exact hours. I just was stopping my food at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And also big proponents, like doctors who talk about using it, talk about eat while there's light out. So sorry, Brenda, for this, but eat while there's light out. Don't eat when it's dark.
Yeah.
So your body is working with the sun, and it helps your metabolism too to do that.
Right.
But yeah, the challenge I had mentioned for those who are just coming in is the oh, hold on, it's on my phone. Pardon me. I keep forgetting the name of my own challenge because yeah, that's what we were talking about with the trying to multitask. The one more challenge, and it's one bad thing gone for a month and one good thing added in. And it's just, to take that first step, like I've talked about before in here. Hey, almost homesteading with Janet. Welcome in.
Hey.
It's to take that first step to bring about change in your own way of taking care of your body, or how you haven't been taking care of your body. My biggest step was the one thing was sugar. When I got off of sugar, I saw a huge difference. Oh, God bless you, little guy. Got a little. Hey, a moment in the Word. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
But yeah, that made a huge difference with my pain levels. Then so did the dairy, helped a bit, and then now the just want to keep.
So how did you get off the sugar? Because I'm really interested in that, because that's a struggle for me.
Well, for me, I just started cutting back, and I wasn't eating things with it in like added to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't put it in my coffee anymore. And I did try at first some of these things like the sugar alternatives, but with the fibro, it just made me sore all over. Mm-hmm. So I went and I already had a supplement that I take that is called D-ribose, that is a precursor for energy and your mitochondria. And so I just add that to my coffee, and it has a tiny bit of sweetness to it. And then I'm trying to think what I had in the coffee itself to where I went black with just that. I can't remember what I was using for creamer, and I went off of that. But prior to that, I had just bought, like in fall, I was having the pumpkin spice in my coffee, like the liquid stuff that they put in at the coffee places. Yeah, I was using that, and I was wondering, like, this is probably not good. I haven't gotten to try allulose yet. I wondered, I have a friend that said she reacted to that too, and she also reacted to the two that I did. I tried stevia. I even got an organic one. Still makes me want to wipe my tongue. I just can't get just like it sticks in the back of the center of my tongue, and I just want to wipe it.
I guess the thing of those sugars is I just really have a hard time with them. Those kind of sugars, because it's like they're not natural. Sugar is bad enough,
Yeah.
And so I rather. Hello, John Paul.
Hi, John. I don't think I have you open. I need you opened up. Let me open you too. Yeah, a lot of them are processed. People are like, oh yeah, just use this, and I have that same feeling, like, oh, it's created in a lab.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's not really that much better of a thing to put into your body than sugar. But I haven't tried the allulose. I heard Dr. Gundry talk about it. Have you tried it, Andy's Journey? Andy's Journeys, sorry. Wow. How much sugar were you consuming that it took 65 pounds off of you? Was it in your coffee and like baked goods? Like, I've only dropped 10 pounds by doing that.
I only put a tiny bit in my coffee.
Yeah, well, that's
I don't drink coffee.
Starting your day, though.
Yeah,
it starts the chain reaction of the crave cycle.
And I didn't used to do that. I don't know why. I used to drink black coffee, but then I switched to I had to add creamer because of the acids were starting to get to me with coffee.
Oh, okay.
And so I found myself wanting the good creamers. And I think that kind of, put me in and so now I'm drinking just almond milk that has no sweetener in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
But then with like those old fashioned little teaspoons.
Yes.
Just one. And I'm like, well, maybe I should stop doing that too. And just,
Okay, I'll tell you why, our treasured home, because it's a lie that you do. Because your body still will not drop the poundage if you are putting those sometimes. If you're not adding, if you're still eating baked goods and it's got stevia in it, if you're still eating lots of carbs, but you're just substituting stevia or another substitute sugar, you're still going to put on the weight because it's about the carbs versus your proteins versus how many hours are you eating? Are you grazing? Are you taking time off? Are you drinking a lot of water to flush the stuff out? It's more than just changing it, but they also have talked about that your body will actually pack on pounds, like people with diet soda.
Mm-hmm.
They gain weight rather than lose it, even
because
though it's diet.
Yeah, their body thinks this is sugar.
Mm-hmm. I have to black now. It's going without sugar. Oh yeah, the old man belly, and some of that is actually wheat belly. Some of that is wheat. So switching to like organic wheat or switching to just a better quality bread or making it.
Why people get beer bellies, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a grain belly. It's a grain belly. So I'm mainly on the. Yeah, I couldn't do that, the carnivore diet. That's awesome. So that's the combo I'm talking about right there, our treasured home. He quit sugar, but then this is the rest of the picture that he's showing us now. He cut out his carbs, except for the carbs that would be in the veggies that he has 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And a lot of men seem to do okay on the carnivore. I couldn't do it because of the gouty arthritis, which I didn't know I had until I ate a bunch of pistachios in it. I had a flare up. And that's what it says. If you have gout and you eat a lot of pistachios, it'll show up with.
Have you heard of, I forget the medicine. A lot of people are losing weight on.
Ozempic?
Yeah, my daughter's about to do that. And I'm like,
don't let her do it.
What are you doing?
Don't. What it does is it freezes your stomach basically in position and the stuff just goes through you. But it's designed as a shot that you will take for the rest of your life because, and it also has caused issues with the stomach never coming back to full motility. So, it causes a lot of, but I'm not putting people down that need it as a Kickstarter. I'm just saying it's designed by Big Pharma and it's designed as a long-term medication.
Yeah, everything that's designed by Big Pharma. I mean, and a lot of, like my brother-in-law who was on it, I have a brother-in-law who was on it for diabetes and it just made him totally sick all the time. Yeah. So he quit it for diabetes. And then I have a nephew that's taking it. And he's just, he looks great. He's losing weight, but he doesn't eat, it's like he just feels sick all the time.
That's a horrible. Yeah, it's just horrible. It also too doesn't care what how do you say it? What flesh it is removing from you. So you're
Mhm.
losing your muscle structure
Mhm.
too. It's going to remove that also.
Which your heart is a muscle, and yep.
Yes, it can damage that. Also, it supposedly your body creates, although it's not in blowing them up, it creates more fat cells on the stuff. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm talking about. Like pharma makes sure that if you go off of it, that you will come back to them and use it again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I just saw that, Nancy. I got it. That it's a. So then something more like what Darren is doing. I think that's how you say your name, Darian. That's Darian. Is doing with its more like carnivore and just
Mhm.
completely dropping your carbs as low as you can for your health because it's all about how you feel. I always say we're all different petri dishes. We all
Yes.
have our own little science experiment going on in here. Also, maybe adding in some digestive enzymes if you don't have those because you are, sitting more. So they can help you digest those foods a little
Mhm.
easier so they can not sit around in your belly and cause any kind of bloating or anything. My primary and my endo said to not
Yeah.
use the sugar replacers because it messes with my insulin. Yep. I have severe type 2 insulin. I'm so sorry. But thank you for that, Q. Yep, it does. You
Yeah.
can. Yep.
That's for sure.
I just basically what I did was I think it was keto. I went towards keto. And so
Mhm.
I took, I was the same way as you, Laura. I had this almond creamer that had sugar in it. So my
Mhm.
first step I did was I went and got, it's called, I think, Nut Pod. And they're in a box and it's still
Mhm.
like an almond coconut creamer, but it has no sugar. They have ones without any sugar at all. And I
Mhm.
got that. And then when I read about how the emulsifiers in some of these almond milks and coconut milks can mess up your gut microbiome, cause leaky gut too, I was like, I better just try black coffee and see if I can do it. Then, too, reading about coffee, that it can keep sugar high in your blood. And I was doing like the Candida kind of cleanse. I was
Mhm.
like, well, I love my coffee. It's my ritual in the morning. So maybe though I can just do with 1 cup.
Well, that
And
was the thing too
so it was a slow back off. Like it was
when
just
I had done a couple because of my blood pressure issues in the past. Now, blood pressure's fine now, but um, when I was having issues with it, and then I would fast for a while, all of a sudden I didn't, and then I tried to get away from the coffee. It was really easy for me. Hey,
mhm.
God's desire for me. How you doing? Good to see
Yeah,
you.
that's desire for me.
Um, so I,
Yeah.
you
It's all
know,
her girls.
yep.
All the girls are sick. Go ahead. So you backed
So
off.
I backed off of it, and it was really easy to get off of coffee after fasting too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I gotta check something really quick.
Nice, Billy. Welcome in. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's kind of when you say when you can, what do you mean? Because you're eating with is it your granddaughter, I think you have, Nancy? Um, that's one thing too, is it has to be a mental shift to where you get sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you've got to start figuring out, and really what it is it's an elimination diet.
Yes.
So, the carbs that I'm limited to have nothing to do with typical grains. Like if I do grain, it's a pseudo grain. I did because I had mentioned some of the recipes for the anti-candida diet. And that's another thing too, is look into that diet, the anti-candida diet. Some of the stuff that's out there is good, but there's a website specifically called that, the anti-candida diet. and get some ideas from there of what to eat and add probiotics. Because if your gut isn't right, you're going to not be able to digest stuff right. And you're not going to be able to assimilate things, and you're still going to be having that leaky gut. Okay, so you can't have, like we've talked about this before, you can't have the red meats, but you still could have like chicken, turkey, fish, some of the lighter meats. Can you not have pork either? I'll have fun on that moped ride. Be careful. Welcome in, Fractal of Athena. I didn't know you were doing this. Good afternoon, your cousin. It's your cousin, Andrea, she says. Oh, I know, sips on coffee.
My cousin Andrea. Hi. Good to see ya.
And I know that can feel restrictive because that's what I'm heading towards. I've been eating a lot of chicken lately, and it can feel really... Yeah. Oops.
Getting creative with making chicken.
Yeah. See, now that's like gout, our treasured home, actually. I'm not really supposed to have fatty pork, no beef, no game. Yeah. And also even sardines, which they did, like the carnivores do. Oh, God bless you.
That's interesting.
It's fine. They do a sardine. Huh?
Why no game food?
Game meats are high in purines, I think they call it. Hold on. It's a certain word that sets off the gout. That forms the crystals. And sardines, they do the sardine challenge, the carnivores, and that could set off a huge gout flare if you have gout. Yeah, and those are not fun. I found out. I was in excruciating pain, and it showed up in a weird joint too. I had something going on with my toe. I had asked the rheumatologist about it, and he said maybe, but he wasn't convinced that it could be gout.
Yeah,
because I'm 53. I'm not like morbidly obese. I'm overweight, but I'm not morbidly obese. I don't have any of the other symptoms.
Not an alcoholic.
Not an alcoholic, exactly. But it can be genetic, and my dad had it. So, yeah, it showed up in my wrists, and this one right wrist was in excruciating pain, and it was just like somebody was stabbing me with a knitting needle. Is all how I can describe it.
It's horribly painful.
Yeah, it is very horribly painful. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, the ads that I don't get paid for. Hey, Anne. Welcome in. But is it?
If you watch ads on my channel, that will help. But
yeah, no, that's not it. What is it? Hold on. But it's very similar, Nancy, to the alpha-gal as far as what you and I both have to stay away from to not have pain, a lot of pain. So if you're having, I saw that you made that flax bread. When you made your flax bread, Nancy, did you use also regular flour with it? Because I didn't get to watch that video yet. I just saw your picture, and it looked like it came out amazing. And that's one thing, too. I would have to try like a yeast-free flax bread or flax cracker or an almond flax cracker, which I want to try and make.
I would like to experiment with some almond flours and things like that to make breads because, or even for like a pizza crust. The pizza crust I make has sugar in it, not a lot, but it has sugar in it on top of it being pizza crust.
Yeah,
but everybody loves it, so it's like,
of course.
How do you get away from that? Like it's pizza night tonight, so what do you do?
Well, the regular flour, though, for your weight does. That's what I'm saying. Like, you've got to get away from the regular grains if you want to lose weight and try pseudo grains. You will not, you won't know until you try it.
Yeah.
But our regular flours, unless you're grinding it yourself, are stripped from their wheat germ, and the germ is what helps it digest in our systems. Plus, a lot of our flours are bleached, so
Right.
you're eating bleach.
And it's
That's
so
why I
hard,
asked.
so hard to find non-bleached flour.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about that when you're making bread is the non-bleached organic flour is actually better for making bread too. And so it just works better, especially when you're doing a fermented bread like sourdough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have the red. I'm eventually when I go back to it, I have the red. What do you call it? Red hard wheat that I want to grind myself and try
Mm-hmm.
it. But I was determined that no, I'm going to get to a certain weight before I even try and make sourdough bread.
Yeah.
Because if it goes well, like if my gut is doing well and I can eat it, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
want to eat it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have to really moderate myself on
Yeah.
it because
Yeah.
that's how I gain weight is on carbs. I love carbs.
Yeah.
It took me a while. I did go through the keto flu a bit. In fact, Storms, he knows because I was like going through it for a few days, and it was not fun.
Mm-hmm.
But staying hydrated with lemon water with a little bit of salt helped. Also doing, and I couldn't do this while I was doing while I was trying to get rid of the yeast, but pickle juice.
Mm-hmm.
Pickle juice helps too. A little bit of that to get you through that hump of coming off the carbs and the sugar, and
Right.
when that
Doesn't pickle juice have sugar in it though?
it does have some of it has it, but it's like a low amount. It's a low
Mm-hmm.
amount of sugar. So yeah, you have to be careful with
Mm-hmm.
that. But even you could do the apple cider vinegar water,
Yeah.
if it does have the sugar in it.
I've done that, and that actually helps me. Apple cider vinegar water
Mm-hmm. Then
helps.
that's probably what would be good for you
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to try and come off the sugar.
Yeah.
Purine, that's what it's called. Finally, sorry, trying to multitask. Low purine diet. If you have gout, and it's talking. And what's funny is it mentions things that I had sensitivities to before I knew that I had gouty arthritis. I can't drink alcohol anymore. I was already having issues with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things, like you don't drink alcohol, no high fructose corn syrup. So, low sugar diet, shellfish, shrimp, and anchovies and sardines are high in the purines. And then game meats, red meat, liver. It doesn't mention pork in this infographic, but I had heard fatty pork is kind of in there too.
Mm-hmm.
So what you can eat is, and of course they add skim milk in. Oh, never mind. This is the Cleveland Clinic, which means it's corporate sponsors stuff is in here.
Yeah.
But it says best foods. You can have coffee. Cherries I know about, but it doesn't mention it's tart cherry. It's usually a
Mm-hmm.
tart cherry,
Mm-hmm.
and like a high vitamin C, and then you're flushing yourself with water.
Yeah.
And then pretty much like what Nancy was saying, your chicken, your turkey, your fish, certain fish.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, by doing this, I mean, I found out I had gout, which I might not have found out because I brought down my inflammation from my fibro to know, like, hey, this isn't fibro. This is
Right.
something completely different.
Hey,
Hey,
49
49 more. Welcome in. But yeah, and Nancy, I hope I'm just conversing with you. Hey, Suburban Hillbilly. I'm not
suburban.
like, I hope I'm not offending you in any way.
No.
These are just things I've been learning for a long time that I took a break from. Actually,
It's just a discussion because sometimes
discussion.
Your body chemistry is different than her body chemistry. So
exactly. But if I have a sedentary lifestyle a lot too because of Malachi. It doesn't seem like it, but I do. Like we're inside a lot and doing things inside, and so yeah, I totally relate to it's hard to lose, and also with the fibro, I was putting on weight because I couldn't move.
Right.
I couldn't move. What was this one? I haven't had a sip out. Wow. Yeah, I didn't have a problem either. Like my husband doesn't drink at all and he doesn't really care for alcohol in the house. And it was only like if I would go out, like, with the meal, I would have
Yeah.
a drink or two. And even then, like all my life, I've been a lightweight. All my life,
Yeah,
it
me
never
too.
took that much. And I was, woohoo, gone.
But I wasn't when I was younger. Everything's healthy. But
Yeah.
get older.
Yeah.
No, I don't. We don't drink in our house anymore either. We
Yeah.
just
So true.
don't.
That's so true. It takes a while to learn what you can have and what you can't have. It's true.
Yeah.
And how your body reacts to it. Like, and sometimes if you haven't had sleep, like Duncan was saying, your body will react completely different than it did when you've gotten a good night's sleep. Your
Right.
insulin resistance is worse when you have not gotten sleep than it is when you've gotten your full, like 8 hours or whatever your body
Right.
prefers, 7, 9, 12.
I can see the difference in just how my body reacts during the day and what I eat. When I haven't slept well, I am bloated. I feel horrible, just horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me too. And that's the same thing now with, I was telling a friend, like, I would love to try the desserts, but it's like, I don't want to have to go through the withdrawal again because it's just like
Right.
coming off of a drug. It really is what it did to my body on its way out. It was like it has to come out of all those little cells that are jonesing for it. And they've talked about that sugar is just as addictive as cocaine. And go figure. They make a really highly addictive sugar and put it in all the corporate foods that are in, the grocery stores.
Yes.
And including MSG, the one that also tells our brain, you want more of me. I'm more delicious than that other food. Oh, I'm sorry, Suburban Hillbilly. That's kind of how like mine's been for about 10. So I'm so sorry.
I don't do that every day, but I have days like last night I slept 4 hours. But yeah. And then if you have like a backache or you're aching in any way, that just doesn't heal right. And so, yeah.
Oh, and we just had that conversation with Laura, but depending on when you have that coffee, if you start in the morning, that starts your blood sugar going up and down and up and down. Just that little bit can do it. And that's what I realized.
I heard a doctor tell me or talk about even waiting a couple hours before you have that first cup of coffee.
I've heard that too.
That can set your body off on a wrong start too. And I forget what it does. I think it's
cortisol. It raises your cortisol level.
It can raise your heart rate. If you're having heart issues.
Oh, yeah, for BP.
Yeah, and so if you wait a couple hours before you have that first cup of coffee, and that's hard because that's the first thing I want.
Yeah, after I gave birth to my son, due to having to feed him the new parent syndrome. Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing. That happened with my daughter. Actually, I couldn't lose the weight. I put on a little bit, but I couldn't lose the weight because of that, the no sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that same issue.
Hey, Country Hustle 101. But once I was through that, then I morphed into what Laura said was I started to lose and I went too far because I was so afraid of going back up like I had been and, getting stuck there. Because we have like weight issues in the family. The women do. My dad was always pretty small, but he had the grain belly and he would eat junk. He was, that harlot little Debbie. She was in the house. My dad had the same weakness as Homestead Aquarius with those little Debbie, the nutty buddies.
Oh, my husband buys those sometimes.
Yeah, my brain won't turn off. I hate that. Yeah.
My challenge now is that my mother-in-law has, she lives with us and she likes her sweets and she needs to gain weight. And so it's hard for me. So we almost have to have it in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the problem.
I wonder if there's healthier sweets though that she could have.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
Because you're great at making those bakery things, but then you're left making them. But if you froze them, like wrap them, like some of your cinnamon rolls and pre-wrap them.
Yeah.
For her. So you could just take those out rather than, other junky stuff.
Right. And at least it's homemade.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's more work for you though. So I don't mean to put that on you.
No.
But like when you're doing a video or something, you just make a double batch and freeze what you can.
I do that. I do that. And she does that too. So
I've been struggling. What is this? I've been struggling with blood sugar problems for years now. Yeah, that little bit in the morning will do it. It will set it off. Yep. And the fasting too, and we were talking about where you just eat like within an 8-hour window of your day. And of course, you're still carefully considering what you're eating. You're not eating a bunch of, crappy foods. You're eating whole foods, like Shawnee had mentioned. Your best you want nutrient-dense foods to feed your cells while you're doing this.
Right.
But we were talking about the insulin resistance drops. Your insulin resistance will get better. And this is not an insulin-resistant drink, but if you are having a hard time sleeping, suburban hillbilly, and you can handle tart cherry juice, just a little bit actually naturally kicks your melatonin into gear. And yeah. Hey, Peterson Farms of Nashville, welcome in.
No, I was, before I did the fasting, my blood sugar was up. Now that's managed. And I could sleep better at night. It's just been recently that I've been dealing with, but of course I haven't been fasting. And so that really helped with sleep too. I don't know why, but it helped with sleep.
You can do organic tart cherry juice or dried tart cherries, which you could even put in like a pseudo grain. If you're having like a breakfast and you want like a treat, you can put it in the dried cherries in like your the buckwheat, which is not related to wheat. It's a pseudo grain, and it's pretty good. But you still have to watch it because it is a carb. It's carbs that you're putting in. But if you're kind of rotating it, it's like if that was your last meal of that 8-hour window, it would set you up to your body to relax. Yeah, no, it's tart cherry, not dark cherry. It's tart.
Yeah. It's a big difference.
Yeah. Tart cherry juice. And plus, too, if you have gout like me, it helps flush out the bad stuff. Helps with those crystals. Gets rid of them.
Okay, Storm.
I know, right? When Laura makes those cinnamon rolls, like, don't go, like, watch Laura's videos, but watch out for the cinnamon roll video after this live that we're doing here. Yeah, you're gonna, yum yum. Yeah,
go
ahead.
That when I learned how to make bread, that was it was a good thing, but not a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I've made bread before, so I know, and I've worked in a bakery, and it was an Italian bakery where they had racks of fresh Italian loaves coming out. I wasn't eating the sweets all the time. I was eating the bread. I was hollowing it out and eating that warm bread, and I put on the poundage. Like, I went from like maybe a size 4 to a 10, and my mom was like, "What is going on? Are you just like partaking a bit too much?" I'm like, I'm not really eating sweets, Mom. And then I realized, I was like, I eat the bread. She goes, oh, that'll do it too, Carol. Plus, I think I was like 16 at the time, so I didn't know.
Yeah, and I think when I like have like fresh bread,
sweet,
it's just so yummy. You want to have a piece right away with lots
of butter on it, and then you want to put butter on it, and I'm off dairy. So, I got to definitely wait on that. But too, there's teas, Suburban Hillbilly. Sure. There's also teas that are totally calorie free that have passion flower, valerian, chamomile is one. What's the other one? I'm thinking of it, and it's usually in Spanish teas. Can't think of the herb, but any of those herbs that's calming, soothing, knock you out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeasty breads give you heartburn. So there you go. You might have a little
Yeah.
yeasty going on,
Yeah.
Duncan.
Got to make the
Might-
sourdough. The
Yeah.
sourdough is a lot better on your stomach.
It is because it's more of a probiotic, I think is what,
Mhm.
and fermented.
Yeah.
The only problem is if you have any kind of yeast allergies, you're still
Mhm.
getting wild yeast in that. Same thing
Right.
with kombucha.
You got to do a long ferment if
Yeah.
you have problems with yeasties. So
I think I need to get. See, doctor says yeast is over. I start getting spontaneous. Ooh, that's not good.
no.
It can be stress, and that can also be if you have something blooming there, or it's just extremely dry. And because
Can also be
sometimes
hormonal.
can also be what was that?
Hormonal.
Oh, hormonal. Yeah, usually the boys used to get that though. It was their skin was thinner up in their nose or something, and they said it was hormonal. I didn't know women got it hormonally.
Women, especially if you're pregnant or you're going through hormonal changes, like if your estrogen's really high, you can get bloody noses.
Oh, there you go, Anne. What did we just? There was something that was talking about removing that. Hold on, because we are susceptible to different estrogens in our environment. Hold on, let me see if I can look it up because I was actually just reading something about that. Extra. Are you consuming anything that might up your estrogen levels? Like, I mean, you're in Turkey, so I can't imagine you're doing a lot of soy.
Yeah, in the United States, soy is in almost everything we eat.
Yeah.
It's scary. If you're eating, any products that are over the counter in the grocery store that is pre-made. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just give me a
You're
second.
on flu meds. Oh, okay.
What?
I don't know why that would do it, but
It might be drying her out.
yeah.
What kind of flu meds are you on? Do you mean like an antiviral or like something you get at, the store to dry you out? There you go. We figured it out. See, sometimes we just need to talk out, talk it out. That's what we're here for. But it did bring me to that.
Yes, GMO.
High estrogens. Yep. Mm-hmm. We have a bunch of GMOs.
Funny because here in Tennessee, we grow so much soybean. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's growing right down the road from my house.
Wait a minute. Wow.
And
wow, I didn't know this. It says here are some other conditions that are related to high estrogen levels because I went looking for that, and it said systematic lupus, SLE, and multiple sclerosis. And of course, we know about the gynecomastia, which is moobs or men boobs.
Mm-hmm.
And short stature, obesity. Let's see, lowering it naturally, not medications. That's not naturally. People, help me out here. Sorry, guys. I can come back with this next time. Yeah, because I was thinking you're pretty much eating Mediterranean, and that lowers estrogen levels. The Mediterranean diet is supposed to, but oh, okay. She realized it. Okay, it's the first time you ever took it. So there you go. You're having a reaction to that flu med. Well, it is 4:00, guys, and I have a friend, like I said, sorry. Yeah. I have a friend coming from out of town, and I have to get ready and get him ready for his daddy when daddy comes home.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So I get to go out and see my friend and go to a restaurant and not know what to eat. No, they have seafood, but that's the problem now. Seafood's a problem for me. I need a doctor, but don't know where. I probably have salmon if they have that in the doctor.
Yeah, I hate that.
I hate that too. There are websites that people will give them reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name of it. There's a big one.
There are a couple of doctors here.
Yeah. So you might want to look into looking them up online first, Suburban Hillbilly, and put their name in, reviews, and just put the word reviews after and see if it comes up.
Yep. And don't feel bad that you have to fire them.
Yeah. Absolutely. Don't feel bad if you got it.
I felt horrible, but I was like, guy's just not getting back to me. I mean, it's an important thing here and not doing it. So.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming today. Thanks, Laura. Appreciate you popping up with me.
Yep. No
Have
problem.
a good one. And God bless. I may be here tonight. I may not be. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm doing Fri-Yay yet or not.
Okay.
So I will talk to y'all later. Love ya.
Bye.
Love you.